One of the most anticipated games of 2024 is here, and it is time to take on the role of the Chosen One in Black Myth Wukong. That means tons of enemies to fight and crazy bosses. Luckily, we here at Direct Gaming have the perfect guide for you on how to take down the boss, Whiteclad Noble. This guide is going to be broken down into 3 parts. Personal setup and skills I had unlocked for this particular fight, tips on how to avoid the boss's attacks and how to counter them, and finally a full run of the boss fight sped up a tad to show you how to use everything you've learned in real time. Alright, let's get started. Now this boss is located right after you save one of your monkey allies who can actually help you upgrade your flasks and brews. In terms of skills and items that I had during this fight, I used everything from the previous fights that we've used because again, nothing has really changed within this first set of areas. However, after this fight, that's where it all starts to change, including armor, new weapons, and more. Now for this particular fight, most skills I simply upgraded a tad, like extra stamina or adding an extra focus point, so you can level up whatever you like. Your best friend, as always though, up to this point in the game is still going to be immobilized, so upgrade that if you can. When it comes to the boss fight itself, Mr. White here is actually a 2-part boss, so don't waste much of your magic until you get around to the second phase. Yes, I did make this mistake myself, so I'm telling you now what to do. Do as I say, not as I do. Now, let's go over the attacks of the actual boss fight itself and what he's going to throw at you. Right when the fight starts, the boss will actually dash at you and perform a long thrust attack with his spear. It's pretty easy to dodge as you can see it coming a mile away, so simply step to the side and you can get a few hits in on the boss. Don't try to go for too many crazy combos though, unless of course you're immobilizing him. One move you do need to watch out for though is when the boss takes his spear into his left hand and places it behind him in the water like you see here on screen. He will then start to perform a spin move that creates a kind of water geyser-like attack that will cover the whole area around him, so make sure you back up to avoid this. This boss also loves to close the distance between you two, so make sure you keep an eye on your stamina, especially when he starts doing things like throwing his spear at you. This move is more for the second part of the fight, but sometimes the boss will actually move his spear around his body and shoot vertical water slashes at you. Some may be horizontal, but a majority of them are going to be vertical. This will actually end though with a spear thrust, so make sure you're not caught off guard. Final move to watch out for during part 1 of this particular fight is when he throws the spear at you, but then it will stick into the ground/water. Then he'll actually jump to the spear and do a spin attack on it. Finally, he'll then pick up the spear and lunge straight at you, finishing him with a sweep attack. So make sure you're dodging all these, but again, don't just spam your dodge, otherwise you're going to run out of stamina much faster. In terms of damaging him during round 1, using Immobilize is okay a couple of times to make it easy, but don't waste all of your magic. You can actually stagger the boss pretty easily with your final combo hit, and many of his attacks leave him wide open for a few extra combos. Pillar is also another move that I personally love using against him. I know most guides that you're going to find out there are telling you to stick to your basic heavy stance to get faster attacks in on him, but there's just something I love about getting up onto your staff, dodging most of his attacks, and just whapping him on the head and stunning him. It's the best thing ever. Keep hitting the boss until it's time to finally take on his snake form. Again, try not to waste too much magic, this first stage is really not too hard. Taking it from the top, we are now at his snake form. As you'd expect, he is much faster now, so make sure you stay on your toes. Some of the moves from the first run are now going to be combined in this second form. For example, his vertical water slash attack can be followed up by his water geyser area of effect move, so make sure you watch out for this. Sorry, I don't have better names for these are just the best names I can personally come up with. He also keeps his traditional lunge attacks, except now they're going to be much faster because he's able to move around a lot easier in the water. So get ready to dodge this or use Immobilize on him to stop him in his tracks. Final move to watch out for is a water strike attack that is sent at you directly. Simply dodge to the side to avoid this heavy damage. You will know it's this move when he takes his spear and plunges it into the water right next to him. Now, in terms of how to actually counter this boss, the key is to wait until he completes an attack, leaving himself wide open. I don't know what it is about this boss, but this boss definitely has a longer window between his attacks than others up to this point. Also, again, Pillar Stance is really helpful here as it can avoid most of his attacks since they're all ground-based unless he throws a spear at you. Your transformation as well, called Red Tide that you got at the beginning of the game, is also very helpful here even though it's fire versus water. Using your triangle move on the ground will not only hit the boss, but it will get you behind him in most cases, which is great for getting more attacks on him. Simply keep up the attacks when you get an opening and this boss will fall no problem. Now here's a full run of the boss fight sped up a tad to show you how to take Whiteclad Noble down. As always, learn the attacks and patterns of the boss to make it easier on yourself. It's okay if it takes a couple of tries. If you enjoyed the guides and the like on the video shows us that you enjoy this type of content, and don't forget to check out our other Black Myth Wukong guides and content along with other videos in the top right corner and pinned comment. Thanks for watching the video. I've been Talon with Direct Gaming. I hope you have a great day and week, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Johnny.
Bang and bliss. You A ripple awakens, not without a stir. Reflect on that. Gentle, as it engulfs all, the power of water. Can you feel its touch? They. You have forced my hand. Now you shall face what I truly am.